Good morning, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to another edition of Jays Latest. I am your host, Craig Borden, and we're going to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays baseball here once again this morning. And make sure you please hit those like, share, subscribe buttons and all that kind of good stuff so we can talk every morning. And make sure you head over to jaybirdwatching.com for all the fun stuff. We're going to be talking live during Mad Max's debut tomorrow at the, what used to be called the Jake. So let's talk all things Toronto Blue Jays baseball and see what we can hit. So, first, good news. Dalton Varsho appears to be heading to his rehab assignment. It could start as early today. So there is that fun that we get to get our, Gold Glove Award winning center fielder back. He has been healthy and tearing the ball up. So my hope is that he can pick up in some semblance of form of what he was doing right before he left, obviously, from that horrible hamstring, whatever the heck was going on, issue with his leg. It looked like he got sniped in the leg when he was on his way to third base. It was not a good time for watching Blue Jays fans watching him round that triple a few months ago. So, but sounds like we're going to be having even more fun with our outfield, who has got all sorts of talent in our outfield right now. You talk about what the Blue Jays could do at this trade deadline, that is probably part of the source of our funding, I'll say, for our trades, is our wonderful outfield, and who we're going to hold onto is going to be very interesting to see where it goes, because you do have I'd say our core outfield, which also includes Anthony Santander, that's sitting on our IL right now. You got Jonathan Clase, you have Alan Roden, you have Miles Straw, who's had a great season, you have Nathan Lucas, who's having a great season, along with obviously having our regulars and George Springer, but now Varsho coming back, all these wonderful things. So our outfield is getting pretty crowded. So if you're looking for a source of where we could trade for some of these players, that is going to be one of those places for the Toronto Blue Jays to take advantage of. But where else could they be going? If you're shopping around, you got to start looking at the teams that look like they might be waving the white flag a little bit. And I'm just going to say it right now. I don't care how much it costs. The Blue Jays have to get a closer. And it's not that I'm against Jeff Hoffman or anything. If we're going to be a championship team, we need more bullpen help. It's that simple. Jimmy Garcia is not going to be the savior that everybody probably thinks he's going to be. I think he's going to be great. Do not get me wrong. But we cannot afford to cough up games like we did the other night to get to the White Sox. And I know that Ryan Helsley's not the perfect answer either. He's got a 3.67 ERA this year, and the Blue Jays took advantage of him just a few weeks ago. But Ryan Helsley is a career closer. He's got almost 100 saves for his career. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the season, so the Cardinals are going to look to deal him, especially with their current record, where they're definitely not in the 500 ballpark right now. They're sliding even further away from it. Helsley is a trade chip, and we should be taking advantage of getting Ryan Helsley. He's, like I said, 98 career saves. He was hurt a few years ago, but he had almost 50 saves in 2004 or 2024 for a pretty damn good Cardinals team near the end of the season. So he is the stuff that the Blue Jays need in that bullpen. Some swing and miss, run through it. I don't care how much it costs at this point for the rental. I really just want to get for somebody like Ryan Helsley in this bullpen just to be able to really lengthen this thing out. If you have somebody like him and Jeff Hoffman at the end of this bullpen, and then you slide Jimmy Garcia, Nick Sandlin, and all these other guys, Brandon Little, who has really emerged, and it just levels this whole thing out. It's a whole new level getting somebody like him to come in and just slam the door shut at the end of the game, because now you can use Jimmy Garcia or Jeff Hoffman in a save or a setup role along with Ryan Helsley. Doesn't matter if you need saves 4 days in a row, you got three guys that can handle it. It dispels success and how we get to the postseason and do good in the postseason and maybe finally win a damn game. There's, that little teeny tiny tidbit there that everybody seems to always forget. Another person that I've been floating around the idea here with that I like is, who are the Marlins going to end up shopping? I think it's a really good question. And I've seen a few articles lately that have brought up just the Marlins in general, right? One gentleman that stood out in some of those comments, and looking into the stat sheets and all that thing, has been Kyle Stowers. As I mentioned, we have a plenty of outfield help, but somebody who's having a very, very good season and has pop. I really do think that it's a buy low candidate, even though he's batting 270 right now with 11 home runs, 35 RBIs. It cannot hurt to have another lefty bat in our lineup for a right fielder that could help this team win and continue winning. And it might take trading a couple of those young outfielders, like I said, to balance the load out, but they get to play every day with the Marlins, build their future, and we'd get somebody that we have under team control that's at the major league level already for the next few years. And I think his bat plays very well in the Rogers Center Skydome. Looking around what he can do, I just think that would be a fun trade. And like I said, I don't think you'd have to give up as much as you would for a lot of other players that are going to be out on the market. You could sneak in, maybe even package Kyle Stowers with somebody else from that, rotation. Wink, wink, wink. Nudge, nudge, nudge. Edward Cabrera has always been somebody I liked. I do love Sandy Alcantara. I do think he's going to do a lot better. Obviously, he's having a rough go at it in his first full season really back. And I also wonder how much of a fire is actually lit for both of those guys, knowing that they are playing for a team that's going to probably finish last place in the NL East. So it is what it is. But right now, if I'm making a move and I need to make a move and I can pick what I want, Ryan Helsley is probably going to be the one that's near the top of my list, or picking that closer out. But Kyle Stowers would be a sneaky steal for getting us some extra power and not slacking much on the defense either. He's actually a pretty well-rounded player that I'm surprised didn't make his debut until he's 26. He's currently 27 and under, like I said, massive team control. That would be the benefit for the Blue Jays going forward here, building stuff, especially after we lose all that money from George Springer's contract after next season, not this season. So, anyway, Cleveland rocks. That's where we're going, everybody. Going to be Eric Lawler versus Logan Allen today. Blue Jays will start at 6:40 odd time to start a ball game, but obviously play a Progressive Field. Used to be the Jake in Cleveland, Ohio. Eric Lawler has been on a tear, everybody. Last 7 games, he's got 4 starts in those appearances, a 2.39 ERA and a .99 walks, hits, innings pitched, or a whip. So very cool. I cannot say enough good things about Eric Lawler and how he's come out of nowhere. And at this point, with what's going on with our rotation, I think he has free reign. This is your spot until you lose it. So keep the hot hand. I think he's figured something out. It just has been very impressive watching the way he spins the ball and what he's been doing to hitters. So let him run. Game on. On the other side of the hill today, we're going to have Logan Allen, the 26-year-old lefty. So we're going to have a lefty-lefty matchup. He's been salvageable for the Indians, and I believe he had a pretty good start from us. I feel like he crushed us the last time we saw the Indians in Toronto. Sorry, Guardians did it again. His last 7 starts, he's 4-2. 6 of those are starts. 4.06 ERA, had a 1.26 WHIP, which includes 25 strikeouts in those 31 innings. It's pretty good. It's not perfect, obviously, but he's really one of their 5th starters at the end of the day. But the Blue Jays need to tag him up and get some of this offense moving after the disappointment that was the Chicago White Sox series and us losing. So let's take out some of that revenge, pitching and hitting wise, on the Cleveland Guardians and see what we can get out of that, because I do think that we need to win against teams like the Cleveland Guardians right now. They're dancing around 500. Our record is currently better than the two of that with their Guardians sit at 39-37, are technically in second place. We have a 41-36 record heading into tonight. And then we're going to get Mad Max on the hill tomorrow. So things are starting to level out from the injury bug. We need to start playing to the point where we can keep that pace that we had a few weeks ago going, because this is starting to look like a hell of a team when you talk about what we're getting and how we're getting players back, where the injuries are. Like we mentioned, Varsho is going to be back, and this is going to convolute the outfield picture to who's the best to have out there. And then we can even, like I said, make trades on both ends of the ball here and get going. Blue Jays might be striking sooner than later. There's a lot of rumors that seems to be flying around. MLB draft is in the next couple weeks. All-star voting is in go. So get out there and vote for those, Blue Jays, because Bo Bichette, Vlad Jr., and Alejandro Kirk 100% deserve to be there. But it's going to be hard to beat Cal Riley at the catching position because that guy is literally breaking major league records every time he hits a home run right now. Most home runs by a catcher in Major League Baseball history before the All-Star game. So, and that's, 3 weeks left before the All-Star game. So, it is what it is. Hope you all have a great day. Go Blue Jays, and we will be back here tomorrow for all things Toronto Blue Jays baseball. Make sure you head over to jaybirdwatching.com and catch the live stream tomorrow night on all social media platforms and everything, including TikTok. So check it out, and we'll talk soon. Go Blue Jays.